I want to paint you a picture. The year is 1993. You're in your local comic book shop. As you're browsing, you stumble across 4 distinct books: Hardware, Icon, Blood Syndicate, and Static. These are titles made by a group of creators who believed that minority groups were severely underrepresented, and went out to change that. This is the story of Milestone Comics. Founded by Christopher Priest, Dennis Cowan, Michael Davis, Derek T. Dingle, and Dwayne McDuffie, these 5 comic creators sought to change the landscape. Now, it's no secret that at the time, most heroes of the time were straight white men, with women, people of color, and the LGBTQI+ community being mostly relegated to token roles. Not all of them, mind you, but a lot were. Milestone founder Dwayne McDuffie, who started his career at Marvel as an assistant to editor Bob Budiansky, pitched a fake story, calling out Marvel's constant use of stereotypes for their black characters, and decided to pursue freelancing in 1990. McDuffie would write for DC, Archie, and still Marvel, but believed that there was still a lack of serious stories regarding underrepresented groups. So he did what anyone with drive and passion should. He, with friends and colleagues, got together in co-founder Michael Davis' home, and everyone started pitching ideas. According to co-founder Christopher Priest, storyboard artist Mark D. Bright was also invited, but didn't show. Over the next 18 months, Priest, McDuffie, and Dennis Cowan had the core concepts for 4 titles: Icon and Rocket, Blood Syndicate, Hardware, and of course, Static. Just before any titles launch, however, Priest, in his own words, decides for his own reasons to step back from Milestone, and was offered a liaison position at DC.
By the time we got to the point where DC was ready to move forward with the contract, we were all pretty much exhausted. And we came together, and I said, well, I have a reservation because I thought that we had all contributed so much to the development of the thing, but I felt, well, you know what? I'd rather not even say, because I love all these guys, and I don't want to start any kind of agita. I had a difference of opinion with the guys, and it caused a schism where the guys felt like they had to. Well, maybe I was trying to make some sort of power play, or maybe they were interpreting it the wrong way. Whatever the case was, it was like. I had a disagreement, and I said, well, I'm going to step back from the group, and DC offered me the editorial liaison position. So rather than leave and be part of the Milestone group, I remained at DC, but I was their guy at DC. Right. So just before that, and then they came up with the Milestone name because we had a very generic name. We were called Creative Partners Limited. They came up with the Milestone name, and then I went home and designed that logo for them.
And with McDuffie, he created the Bible for Milestone Comics characters and the world set in the fictional city of Dakota.
And repackaged our Bible and our pitch. And I had written the Bible with Dwayne's help, but I was actually the wordsmith on the original Bible. That was written by me, but Dwayne was on the phone, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then subsequently, Dwayne expanded on and really built out that whole universe. So a lot of that ended up being Dwayne. But most of the history of that shared universe, the origins of that universe, and the characters and locations and stuff like that, a lot of that was created by me during the development process.
Now, Milestone had a really sweet deal with DC, having the benefit of being published by one of the big 2 comic brands and not having to worry about editors interfering in the works they wanted to make. They also retained merchandising and licensing rights. McDuffie stated that there were times where DC weren't sure about certain issues because it wasn't subject matter they were used to. The biggest straw being a cover of Static showing Virgil Hawkins and his girlfriend making out with visible contraceptive. DC reportedly refused to publish it as they believed the cover was using sexual content to sell comics. Milestone would compromise and edit the cover, but McDuffie did mention he thought race is more of the actual reason, as an arguably more explicit cover of the ongoing Legionnaires run was apparently right behind the executive informing him at the time. Now, whilst Milestone still had the benefit of being published by DC, the market for comics was about to change. As in 1994, the comic market crashed. Now, From what I understand, the crash itself was more due to the speculative market, which, to give you the quick version, the crash is believed to be caused by the variant cover, polybag, and gimmick cover collectors, and the direction books like Batman Nightfall and The Death of Superman. This led to all the big spender collectors believing Batman and Superman were done and not worth buying, leading to a severe decline in sales, causing stores to close and companies to close their doors. And Milestone on top of that had an issue with retailers not stocking their books, saying majority of customers wouldn't read comics for blacks as an excuse.
A lot of things have been laid on top of Milestone, that it was comics for black people, that it was an attempt by the man to hold down the burgeoning black comic movement, which doesn't seem to have really gone anywhere since Milestone left. If we were holding them down, we did a really good job because we're now holding them down without existing.
Unfortunately, this ended up having a domino effect, causing books to have to be cancelled, some outright mid-run. A new team book, Heroes, was launched, but didn't sell well enough to justify doing a whole series on. And by '97, Milestone Media would close its comic book division, and would continue on as a licensing company. There'd be successes after, however, with Warner Brothers using the character of Static for his own TV show, Static Shock, which is an amazing success. As the first ever superhero show with a black lead, the show ran for 4 seasons. And while it had changes from the comic, McDuffie and Cowan were on the production team, ensuring nothing was too egregiously changed. In 2008, DC began incorporating Milestone characters in their own stories, such as Static becoming a member of the Teen Titans, and Icon, Rocket, and Hardware appearing in animated DC projects, such as Young Justice. This was followed up in 2010 with a 2-issue limited series titled Milestone Forever, showing the characters in their final moments of their world, before being brought into mainline DC continuity, written and penciled by McDuffie and Cowan respectively. This, unfortunately, would be the last time Dwayne McDuffie would work on Milestone Comics, as on February 21st, 2011, he passed from complications during heart surgery. He was 49 years old. But his legacy and creations will forever live on, even more so now, as in 2015 it was announced at DC with Cowan and Derek T. Dingle that Milestone would be relaunched in 2017 under the new designation Earth M in full DC continuity. This was delayed considerably due to there being a lawsuit filed by Charlotte Fullerton, McDuffie's widow, as she did own his 50% share in the company and wasn't consulted in any of the relaunching. Over time, the lawsuit was eventually settled, and in 2020, we got Milestone Returns issue 0, as well as new individual stories following the Returns label. Not only would Milestone get to have a resurgence of their comics, but this is the age of the superhero movie, and whilst it hasn't happened yet, a Static film has been in development limbo for a while, and with a bit of luck, we can get it someday. As of right now, Milestone has had a series of releases currently available, physically, digitally, and on DC Universe Infinite, all with immense success, the most recent release being The Shadow Cabinet. And recently, I've even heard rumors Milestone characters may appear in DC's ongoing Absolute Universe, which personally, I would love to see.
Milestone is undeniably the most important black superhero universe. I think had there been more of a push to get those characters into the collective consciousness of the mainstream, maybe it never would have went away.
We were way ahead of our time. When we first started doing that material, the things we were talking about is stuff that people are starting to talk about now. It's a good time for us to come back to keep raising these questions and keep exploring these topics, especially in light of what's going on today.
And that's all I have to say. Milestone Comics is one of the clear moments where you know that people have voices. And I applaud these people so much for not being afraid to take the initiative against all these big corporations who clearly didn't want to hear them out and made their voices heard. It's important, especially in a world today where we're so constantly forced into division that I don't think a lot of us even want to be. That a story like all of these can be told by the people who deserve to tell them. I've been your host, The Comic Wraith. Thanks for listening. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay safe, stay true, stay you. I don't use a PlayStation for that. Shush. I'll catch you on the next one. Later.